Alright, so I thought I would start a YouTube channel, and I wanted to do like a gardening channel. So I wanted to show you guys what I got going on in my yard so I can start documenting this stuff and show you what I'm doing with individual things. Um, but just to give you a little background, I moved into my house a couple years ago, and I wish I would have done this about a year ago because I've done a lot since I moved in. But we'll start fresh starting today, which is September 2022 or 2023 actually. And I'm just going to show you around the yard, show you what I got going on, and giving you an idea of what I have. And if you guys want to know anything specific about what I'm doing, you can leave a comment and I can make a dedicated video to that. I'm not going to show you a lot of my vegetable garden stuff because my vegetable garden this year was pretty poor. Haven't had a lot of time. Grew a few tomatoes, some peppers, and some herbs and whatnot, but nothing significant. I've been gardening pretty much my whole life since I was a little kid. Grew up in Central California and gardened there, and did a lot of gardening in Northern California and Chico. And now in Bakersfield, I've been doing it for about 10 years. So a lot of different soil environments, different weather environments, and it's unique to each different area, but the basics are the same. So here we go. I'm going to show you around the yard and give you guys an idea of what I got going on, and hopefully there'll be more videos to come. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you guys, this is a Manila mango, and fairly difficult tree to grow. I bought my first mango last summer. It did great during the summer, and during the winter it died. I think I watered it too much and it just got a little too cold, and it was kind of a small plant. But so this is the second one I bought. It's a Manila mango, and right now I just got it into a pot with some wood chips to keep it insulated, and it does great during the summertime. It has no problem with the heat. It's the winters and the wet weather that really knocks it out. So I think I'm gonna bring it in during the winter, and next spring I'll put it into a 24-inch pot, let it grow for about a year, get it a little bigger, a little more hardy, and then we'll put it in the ground somewhere. So we'll see how it goes. Cross our fingers. This is a citrus, a Manila citrus, calamansi, and this plant was probably about half the size when I first bought it. And I actually put it in the ground just below this pot when I first got it, and it didn't like it at all. It was too soggy, too much clay. So I dug it back up and put it in this pot, and it's been doing great. So we'll see how this goes. I know these things get pretty big. I mean, they get like the size of an orange tree. So I haven't had any fruit on it yet, but I think next year I'll get a couple calamansis next year. We'll see. And of course, natural to Bakersfield, we get lots of leaf miners. I don't do anything to treat them. I just let them do their thing. I'll kind of rub the leaves, try to kill them as I see them come up, but just a natural pest. I don't do a lot of pest control. I don't use any insecticides. I do some natural pest control, but nothing crazy. So yeah, it's the calamansi. It's a mango. I got a bacon avocado here that I bought from Home Depot last year, and I'm just kind of experimenting with this one. It was like a 10-gallon pot, and I left it outside all winter and had no problem with the cold. But this summer, the heat really knocked it out. It got really sunburned. You can see it died. The top of it died, and it was looking pretty bad. And so I painted the trunk and threw on a shade cloth, and it came back. So I'm gonna play around with this one. I think I might graft it with a few different avocados and see how it does. But yeah, that's the bacon. Here's a tomato plant that did all right. Didn't produce a lot of tomatoes. Got a lot of foliage, but seasonal item there. Then I have my reed avocado. This is the first avocado plant I bought. I really wanted to grow avocados and wanted to give it a try in Bakersfield, so I planted this guy, and this is kind of my baby. I watch it pretty closely and did a lot of research on it. I have a separate video about how I planted it and what I'm doing to keep it going. So this is it's been in the ground for 1 year, and it's doing really good. I think it's going to be a success, but we'll see what happens. And then on my fence line here, I got this is a dwarf. This is a dwarf peach tree that my colleague gave me, and it was about a third of this size when I planted it in the winter, and it just exploded. I cut off all the flowers this spring because I just wanted it to grow, and it's gotten huge. So I think next year I'll probably have, if I had to guess, probably 100 peaches off this thing. I kept one on there and I picked it, and it was delicious. So here's my peach tree, doing pretty well. Got some onions sprouting up here. Can't really see them in the video, but yeah, I got some little onions, some bunch onions, and some red onions growing there. A couple tomato plants I planted, and they're just on their way out. I probably, like I said, I didn't really take care of them. Probably got 50 tomatoes this year, where on a normal year I would expect about 100 tomatoes from each plant. But then this is in the Philippines, they call them calachuchi. Other people most know them as plumeria, and I love this plant. They have beautiful flowers. They're really famous in Hawaii. And I got a cutting from online, and you can see the cutting was, right in this area, and all this is new growth. And they're also very sensitive to the cold, so we'll see what happens. This is my first year, so I got them. I think I got them in like January or February of this year. And they've done really. They love the heat. No problem with the heat. So we'll see what happens in the winter. I think, I'll probably bring them inside and let them get a little bigger and more matured, more hardy before I plant them somewhere. But yeah, I love these plants. Plumeria, or calachuchi, as they say in the Philippines. This is my wife's cactus garden. So she's doing her thing there. And then over here, I actually have a Russian tortoise in this little enclosure here, and he loves it in here. Got a lot of shade, but this is where I planted. I got a bunch of elephant ears that my wife bought, and I planted them in here, and they're doing great. I mean, they're just getting huge. They were probably a third of this size last year, and I love elephant plants. They're just beautiful. So I'm playing around with those. They've had a few sibling plants that have came off that I've cut out and repotted them, and I'm going to plant in other areas of the yard. But this is a Japanese maple right here, and not doing too good. I think I over fertilized them. So we'll see if he comes back next year, I'll keep him. If not, then I'll probably tear him out. Didn't do so well this year, but we'll see. He was in a pot for 2 or 3 years, and I planted him here, and he did good at first, and then he just kind of died off. So I don't know what's going on. And I got some banana plants that I've planted. First time trying to grow bananas. I planted, I don't know, probably about 10 different bananas in different areas of the yard, because I just want to see which areas they do best in, and what climate, what microclimates they do best in, and I'll show you around on those. But this one's doing really well. He's got a little fungus on the base of him there. I didn't treat it with anything. I'm just letting him go. He seems fine. This thing was probably, it's probably about a third the size. I planted it in the ground this spring, and I bought it last winter in like a 10-gallon pot, and it's just going off. I got my pepper plants, some jalapenos, some habaneros. Habanero's kind of weird. It didn't flower at all this year and didn't produce any habaneros, so I don't know. But pepper plants are pretty cool because they'll overwinter, so I'll cut them back probably in the next month or so, and they'll come back next year. Don't have to resow or buy new plants or anything like that. But I use this for my salsa, and make jalapeno sauce. Can't quite get the vinegar, sometimes a little too much vinegar in the sauce, but I'm still working on that. I'm a better gardener than I am a chef. But yeah, so I got some jalapeno plants and some mild jalapenos going, and the Russian tortoises love the leaves, and he just grubs down on the leaves. Little guy, come on, get out of there. He's probably back there in the corner. That's why my little mixed mutt here is smelling it over there. Alright, I'll take you back to the other side of the yard here. So I have a few different bananas. I got the red banana. I forget what the formal name is, but I got a red banana. I got the traditional banana that you buy at the store. Here's another one. This guy's, he's doing it right, but he's not doing great. Not like the other ones are. Not really sure why. What's interesting about this banana is actually a possum died in my backyard, and I buried him right near the base. So, kind of wondering if that'll make a big difference fertilizer-wise. I got some watermelon growing. Funny thing about the watermelon is I just threw it in there. I never watered it. Didn't do anything during the summer, and it survived. I got 4 watermelon out of that thing. It's pretty cool. I got a fig tree that my dad gave me, which he gave me 2 of them, and I'll show you the one in the front yard. And it's pretty cool to see the difference in size. And when I first got them, they were the same size. And this guy is probably about half the size as the one in the front yard. And the difference is I don't care for this one that much. I don't water it that much. I don't fertilize it that much. I just kind of let it be. And it's doing good, but it's not doing like the other one I'll show you. And then there's another banana, not doing that great. This one really gets hit with the evening sun, which it doesn't like. But I think once it gets established, it'll come through. I got a money tree. I really like these money trees. A lot of people use them as house plants, but they get really huge. I mean, they become actual trees. So I'm gonna put this in the ground, and I think this thing's gonna get really big in the future. Got a little maple tree. I've always loved the look of maple trees. I haven't trimmed this guy. I bought him last winter, put him in the ground, and so once the leaves drop, I'll trim him up and make him looking good. But it took really well. Put him in the ground, gave him a little fertilizer, put some mulch on top, and he's doing good. And here's my little tropical tree area. I have a little shade cloth there that I put down in the summertime. But right now in September, I don't need it, but I got a Fuerte avocado, which is what I want to pair with my my Reed avocado there. I mean, those are the Fuerte and the Reed are really the two avocados I want to harvest on a annual basis. So those are the ones I'm going to focus on. But I got a Mexicola Grande avocado here, and an unknown avocado here that my buddy gave me. And so yeah, I'm gonna play around with these. I think both of these I'll also put into a 24-inch pot, let them grow for about a year, and then put them in the ground somewhere. I think the Fuerte I put near that Reed, and then the Mexicola, I don't know where I'm gonna put them, but I'll find a spot. So that's that. I'll take you guys over here to where I have another area. This is my little, not really my area, it's more of my wife's area, but a little cactus area that growing different cactuses or cacti. And what's funny is they really actually enjoy the shade. So this is like a north facing wall, so they get morning shade, and then 2 or 3 in the afternoon they get the evening sun. But they do well here. So we'll see how this area develops over the next year or so. The cactus pads I kind of clip off and feed to the tortoises. I got a couple red ear tortoises. Russian tortoise doesn't really care for it, but the red ears love those cactus pads. So I'll pull those off and give it to them. I'll show you some of the elephant ear plants that grew from the parent plants that I cut off. So we had about 3 of them that grew, and I cut them out, put them in a pot. So that's those. So those little plants there will probably be about the size of those elephant plants over there next year. Just have to find a suitable spot to put them in. This is my little jade bonsai. I've had him about 6 years now, and I keep him at about this size, and I trim him back. It's my little bonsai project. Don't take a lot of care of it, but I really like jade plants. So probably do a separate video on that. And then my little pool area. These are all new plants that I planted this year. I actually planted them in the spring, and some are doing good and some are not doing that good. So this is the white bird plant, and they get really big and beautiful, but I think this guy's having some transplant shock, so we'll see how he does coming into next year. Here's a few bananas that I planted that are just going off. I mean, these bananas were probably a third of this size when I planted them. Another white elephant plant. More bananas. Another white elephant there. Got a new leaf coming up. Another banana and white elephant. So this is going to be a really pretty area. Say probably about 2 years. I mean, this is all going to be matured. So just trying to decorate the perimeter of my pool here. We'll see how these banana plants do during the winter time. And then some more plumeria or calachuchi if you're from the Philippines. The leaves are dying. They're getting ready to go dormant, so we'll bring them in next year, let them continue rooting, and then probably next year we'll put them in the ground somewhere. And that's it, guys. So I'll keep you posted on the yard. If you have any specific questions on some of these different types of plants that you want to know how I'm growing them, or how I'm fertilizing, or how I water, or anything like that, just leave a comment, and I'll get back to you all.